Good Saturday evening to all of you out there listening on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I am Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you for the college football recap on a Western Oklahoma and Central Oklahoma Saturday night, and a lot of losses going on today in college football, as it was a rough day in Norman, a rough day in Lubbock, and apparently a rough day in Philadelphia as well for the Golden Hurricane of the University of Tulsa. And joining me tonight, as he always does, is my good friend and broadcast partner, Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. And Jeremy, you were down at Norman today. We'll get into some talk about OU and Brent Venables and all the coaches that should be fired after the loss to Ole Miss. But you, on a good note, you got to hang out with Marty Wandry a little bit today.
I did. It's good seeing Marty. Got to see Connor as well. Connor Carr.
All right. Well,
and he disappeared right before Satania had his 70-yard catch.
Yeah. It's funny. The Mihos were in town. We came into town to meet with the Mihos because we haven't seen them in a while. And we went to 5-iron and hit some golf balls, and the game was on there. And I think then we went to Pub W in Yukon and watched the second half there. And one of their friends came and met us that they went to high school with, who's with the FAA and going through school unpaid, and per diem, no per diem and unpaid. But he did come out, and he's an Arkansas fan, big time. And he was sitting there just really, I thought he was going to throw a beer stein, through the TV there at Pub W in Yukon. But rough day for the Razorbacks, big day for the Auburn Tigers and Hugh Freeze, big day for Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorns. And above everything else, Jeremy, a big day for Diego Dan Pavia and the Vanderbilt Commodores, as they get a big win over Missouri on their home field. And man, crazy injuries today, some players knocked out of games, and we'll get into a lot of that. But first, we want to thank CCW Safe for sponsoring our program, and they are a great job. They are a great service to prescribe to. Thanks for texting me. And I see you down on the little caption, and I just think, oh, well, we're on. So CCW Safe is a great legal self-defense coverage plan that you can get with plans starting as low as $19 a month. If you exercise your Second Amendment rights or self-defense rights in this world, CCW Safe is a great service to have. The link that we would prefer you to use is on the scroll below and is also in the description of this live broadcast. So we would appreciate it if you want to check them out. Use the link that we provide here and get through there that way. So, Jeremy, just hard to break down. We were driving back from Yukon when a lot of the post games were pretty much about over, especially the official OU post game, and I just caught a little bit of the sports animal there in town. But then I turned it over thinking that, not sure if the Learfield broadcast for OU football was over, and it was 107 The Franchise. And whoever the kids, and they sound like kids, whoever they were, I mean, they were just venting, and they were venting very vehemently. And I would assume that's what the atmosphere was walking out of the stadium today.
Yes. I took a leisurely stroll by myself and ran into my buddy Sean King, and yes, F-bombs were thrown. Anger was evident. Man, it took a couple hours before I came down from this one.
Well, and the thing about football is, Jeremy, and losses and wins can be hyper emotional. And basically, when you have a game that you don't feel like you're performing well at all, and then you mount a comeback, you take the lead, and then just bad play just really gets you in the loss column. It's so much tougher to take. Now, I'll say this, the offense has put up at least multiple touchdowns in 2 consecutive weeks after almost going goose eggs in Dallas 2 weeks ago. It's just not enough against two teams. I mean, 1 out of 2 games where both teams really kind of struggling on the defensive side that we're told about. Now, I know South Carolina suffered a injury early in that game to one of their big edge rushers, but uh, nobody was touting this Mississippi defense coming into this game as being anything that would be able to give Oklahoma credit and or a hard time. And when you're looking at the stats, Jeremy, it's just a situation where John Mateer is just not, regardless of the cause, he's just not been good enough in these games that they've lost to get the job done.
No, he has not. And it's baffling when you have a 4th and 2, you have 3 guys running wide open and you throw a fade. All you need to do is get past the sticks.
Mhm.
Now we're going to go for the home run. The quarterback run game it's been disjointed pretty much ever since the Michigan game. I don't think they should hang their hat on that any longer. I think that we've got 2 running backs that they can get it done.
Yeah,
But you gotta be willing to lean on that defense. You could
gotta
have
give 'em
lent
snaps.
they could when they took the lead, they could have leaned on that defense the next possession
I
because they
mean,
were but you don't.
the thing about it is, Jeremy, and we saw this for a solid decade from Nick Saban, from Les Miles, who else won a national championship?
Urban Meyer.
Even Urban Meyer. Run the ball early, and it pays dividends late.
Yeah,
Those defensive lines and those linebacker cores, they basically,
they get tired of chasing you around and hitting you.
get tired of tackling, you get tired of taking the beating, and yeah, it may not yield more than a yard or 2 early, but you have to commit to stick with it. And here's the thing, what's the path of Ben Arbuckle from Washington State? Was he at Western Kentucky before that?
Yes,
And
and
probably back
I think he was at Incarnate Word as well.
Incarnate or Houston Baptist, whatever, all these guys who are of the Leach tree, and that's what it ends up being. Maybe it's the Art Briles Leach tree. I don't know. But they all have roots in Texas football, which went to sold their soul to the spread decades ago. And, you just get too cute for your own good. And you try to dial up the 16-point play. We saw it with Muleshoe. When he had good offenses, they could do things, but when they were in trouble, they panic, and it's just I don't know. We talk about coaching trees and the Mike Leach tree. I I, I think the Norm Chow tree is far better as far as performances and results than what the Mike Leach tree has been.
Yes, Norm Chow. Yes, it's proved out, yes.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, right now, even though it's Sarkisian, they had
Yeah,
to
oh, yeah.
they had to pull one out of their butt tonight to try to get past a Mississippi State team still looking for their first SEC win in over
That's
2
not
years.
a bad Mississippi State team.
They
Jeff
they
Levy's
gave
doing a
them
good
fit,
job out there.
and they were a 4th down roughing the passer call away from closing that out. And man, just don't punt to Niblet. That's just, I
No,
mean, it was that his 3rd punt return for touchdown.
I think
Did he
so.
have one against Kentucky last week?
Did he?
I I thought I heard on a broadcast that he did.
Was that the only time they scored? Because that was a low scoring ball game.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look, but I mean, he got another punt return for a touchdown today, and it's the same thing. Just they think they've got him cornered off in the edge, and then next thing you know, Connor Carr checking in. Thank you, Connor. Good seeing you today, Jeremy, and good old time. Looked like it was had down there in the tailgate also, and Corey Campbell, old workmate of mine, checking in. I think the anesthesia from surgery has Mateer messed up. Um, he he is not the same quarterback, and I heard him
No,
saying this on some of the broadcasts. He's not the same quarterback that we saw against Michigan or even against Auburn.
no, and this is the second time he's said after a game he wasn't seeing the field well. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't like it. I mean, he didn't play terribly, but he didn't play up to what our standards for him are. Probably not even what the standards he has for himself.
Well, we talk about it, Jeremy, and we say all the time that football is complementary, and special teams, defense, and offense play together. And when you when you have something, you're able to, um, you're able to do things. Um, I just think to myself, this was a perfect example of when the defense does get a bit exploited. There's nobody from the offensive side able to jump in there and do anything.
I mean, a sustained drive or
Yeah,
something, run the football, things like that would be like, super awesome.
yeah.
But man, they're not even hitting balls over the middle anymore. They're not hitting seam routes. They're not, I mean, it's just, and a lot of it is the offensive line is bad. Bad,
Yeah.
bad, 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 bad.
Yeah, and, I heard that who's the kid that's the guard that stepped in?
EPL, Eddie Pierre Louis.
No, the other one, Mikla.
Oh, Michaela, he's the
Mike
center.
Okay. He's not I mean, he can't be having a great time, right?
No, he's snapping the ball and on his back.
And as good as Fasusi is going to be, he's still getting kinda punched in the nose, as a freshman, now. So,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, it's just one of those things. Let's to get to some comments real quick. Kyle Albert says, "Not sure Mateer does any better today, even with a healthy O-line." Dan Narva checking in says, "Good evening." Brand Lindsay listening in as well. Connor Carr says, "O-line play makes or breaks the quarterback." O-line play in a running game. A running game has so much to do with a quarterback's success, and that's where Mississippi State fell this short tonight, is they lost the ability to do anything running the ball, and just a lot of times, and if you're throwing a quarterback out there that, and I don't know, it was hard for me inside the Pub W to really be able to analyze some of the plays, but I mean, he's not he's not doing what I was told. Are you there?
yeah, I'm here. I
He
heard
he's
loud
not doing
voices.
he's not doing what I was told he would be capable of doing, and that would be breaking down defenses with his feet once because it seemed like they must have had 8 guys in the secondary all day.
Like, yeah. And well, I mean, you can do that when you can get pressure with three.
Well, sure, but that's when, the quarterback who is a run threat, burns you for at least, a chunk play.
And Corey Campbell, you're exactly right. Xavier Robinson could have been that hammer they needed if they would have just
How long was
given
that
him the
run he
damn
made?
football.
65 yards?
66 yards.
That was a thing of beauty. I
I mean,
mean, and that's exactly what I think OU fans were looking at and saying, "You want that balance."
he had a touchdown run a couple of possessions later where he was hit near the line of scrimmage, broke
Mhm.
a couple tackles, drug guys in the end zone. He's big and strong.
Yeah.
So you got BYOB sometimes, right?
Yeah. And, just looking at it, Jeremy, I mean, Ole Miss comes out, they're kinda popping, they get the field goal to go up 3-0. Then Oklahoma, obviously, it's always the scripted first drive, and you're at least gonna get good yardage between the 20s, and then you get down there, and nowadays kickers can get, can really do things. A 42-yarder for Sandell's kind of a chip shot, really, in a way.
Yeah, they're putting
Um,
the ball well.
anyway, so Corey Campbell, mentioning the run game, but what I was gonna say is, the first half was just so inept offensively.
It
I mean,
really was.
you had the big play to Satania, okay, but then, you give up the safety, and that's another thing, and I didn't see it close enough. I'd have to go back and watch the coaches show, but I mean, look who's coaching up tight ends on that squad, and look
Yeah,
who's
well,
look who's playing El Matador on some of those blockings.
well, and who's making yes, he's a problem.
Yeah.
But why are you running a stretch zone play that takes time to develop
Mhm.
right behind a true freshman offensive tackle making his first start?
Yeah. Kyle Albert says he had time on multiple occasions to hit open receivers, still overthrew them. Questionable decisions all day. He was overthrowing bad, and I would bet that. And is Aaron Murray still doing the YouTube channel that he did last season?
I think
I'll
so.
be interested to see if he breaks down a little film on that, because I think you can't say that his footwork's is any good during this stretch.
I think everything with him is just out of sync right now.
Ricky Rodriguez says he thinks Mateer's trying to get an NIL deal with an eye doctor.
Man,
Uh,
that's, about $4.5 million they totally whiffed on
oh, between
in the
him and Jay
portal.
Knott
Yeah.
and really Dion Burks too. I mean,
No, I mean, Burks can only do so much when the ball's thrown his way. I mean,
that's true.
he does he had a I mean, he's made some good catches.
Yeah. Connor pointing out a good point. What's scary is Trinidad missed some throws and some reads that would have had Ole Miss scoring. He did not have. I mean, he threw some chunk plays. Is really where he burned OU. I mean, the thing about it is you can have a bad percentage, but when your completions are all on third down
Yeah,
and they're for
and when you get a the softest roughing the passer penalty I think I've ever seen in a college football game.
yeah. Well, it was a rough
Oh,
day.
here's a question.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's defense had 2 illegal substitution penalties or 12 men on the field. Now, the referee was standing behind the center, stopping play, but we're still got guys running off. There's 15 seconds left on the play clock, and they're starting up, getting out of the way, and throwing a flag.
Yeah.
What is that? What is I didn't understand what was going on.
I heard that
'Cause it
part. I heard that part on the radio broadcast, and I think Eichard was like, the official told Venables that, we're gonna speed things up. Well, when have you started doing that?
Yeah,
'Cause
right?
how many times have
There's
offenses
still
been under the gun or had to call a timeout to avoid a delay penalty, because the defense was lollygagging? What
Mhm,
spawned that,
right. I mean, when did that
Gambling,
start? And there was
Vegas,
still huh?
mafia.
BCS,
Yeah,
dollar signs.
dollar sign. Rand Lindsay says bad footing to try and run some of those plays. That's probably a pretty fair statement too. It was, the sun came out, and I don't know how fast the turf really dries down there, but looked a bit sloppy in the first half for sure.
It really was.
Well, I
Gosh, but
mean, the thing about it is, Jeremy, is this I mean, this receiver core is not world beaters. They're not anybody that's going to draw tons of draft, interest. But I mean, they could get the job done
they're
if they've got somebody.
serviceable.
Yeah,
They're good enough.
if they ever
But if
get
you
Keontez Lewis back.
yeah,
But
man.
Satania can get open.
Yeah, he's dynamite.
I'm
I mean,
guessing
yeah, he'll
Dion
make
Burks
the
can get
off
open.
dumb play, Connor, but dang. I mean,
3
he can
receptions by Jaron Canick. Let
that's
me
not
see how
enough.
many times he was targeted. I
I
thought
wanna
I
say
had
5.
that. Yeah. So, but I mean, 15 carries between Xavier Robinson and Torrey Blaylock. You're just, when you're passing it that much, and I know he only passed it 31 times. That's not, I mean, we've seen a lot more at times, but
Look at that time of possession disparity, and you'll see why there weren't that many
sure.
plays,
Yeah. Yeah.
and probably why they felt like they had to chuck it.
Yeah. You do get panicked when you pass it, that much more, or, when I don't know. You're just running it, but you come back and you take the lead, and you're thinking, okay, here we go, and then you get a defensive stop, and then you fumble. So
Mhm,
I said it during the Mississippi State game to my wife: is bad teams find a way to lose, and right
mhm.
now OU is a bad team. They're not. They're
Which
not a
is
top 25 team in
which
my.
is crazy because you saw him play last week, and that same South Carolina team in that same venue
Uh huh.
gave Alabama
Alabama.
everything they wanted.
Yeah, and that's that's the thing. I mean, it sucks for Beamer. He could have cooled his seat off immensely with a win over Bama today, but
Mhm.
having said that, he's in a little bit of the hurt locker. Connor Carr says, "Don't hate on me. He's the one that drops everything." Well, I mean, the fumble is so bad. Dropped passes are bad too, but man, a fumble, especially on a
It
punt
was
return.
just so
And
untimely.
why did it look like he hurdled when there was nothing to hurdle?
He did there was a guy there to hurdle, but it
Was
was
there?
unnecessary. He coulda just got to the 50 and fallen down.
Yeah, yeah. Ricky Rodriguez says hated that Arbuckle tried to get fancy on 4th and 2, just run the ball down the middle. Uh, you know, another thing about the run game, Jeremy, is it builds confidence in young linemen.
You think?
You think, yeah. I mean, you give them the chance to go out and be physical. They've got they generally are going to have a physical edge over most defensive linemen.
I mean, so Blaylock and Robinson had 15 carries for 129 yards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
15 for 129. Comes out to a pretty good average, doesn't it?
Well, what would the average have been without the big touchdown run
Well,
by
I mean,
Robinson?
yeah, you take that 65 out of it, then
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
half
it's
of that.
there, it's part of it, I get
Yeah.
that, but I mean, you one big chunk play, and it was a beautiful run, I'm not gonna lie, it was amazing. Marty Wandry checking in, Clinton Liquor, thank you very much, and Kyle Albert says, "We'll be lucky to win next week, gonna get destroyed in Tuscaloosa." I don't know. Yeah, Bama's gonna be looking for some revenge from last year
Oh, and
because it was that game that prevented them from being in the playoff.
yeah, Connor Isaiah Satania the third had 6 catches for 131 yards today
Yeah, and a touchdown.
and a touchdown.
Yep.
And I, you know, get
Mhm.
the ball in his hands.
Yeah, and he gets open. I mean, you
But
just gotta get it to him.
what has what is baffling about this quarterback run game is yes, yes, Kiffin schooled BV. He always gets schooled by great offensive play callers like Sark.
Well, I
They
mean
ran so many variations of the zone read early in the season that we just don't see anymore. They'd run the zone read to Burks. If it popped, great. But that's in the back of the defense's mind every time he goes in motion, and then you can just snatch that thing right out of there.
mhm.
But they don't do that anymore.
No. I mean, the money is already spent on Mateer.
Yeah.
Cut bait and work on Hawkins. I mean, what are you doing? I mean,
I think you should rewatch the Kent State game and then just hope that Bo Bentley is what we think he is.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's rough. I don't know.
I mean, because
But
he runs into sacks and
yeah,
there's
but
lots of those to be had.
you knew going into this that, and I just had a feeling, that this was going to be one where Kiffin came out and did what he does and got big chunk yardage plays and converted on third down. How many times they convert on fourth down?
A couple times.
Yeah, let me see
But,
here.
anytime they had 3rd and 6 plus, they would just hit that nice little soft spot right behind the linebackers. That is a fatal flaw of the Stoops Venables defense.
9 of 21 on third down were the Rebels, and OU was 4 of 14. Fourth down, Ole Miss was 2 of 3. OU was 1 of 3, and I guess the one was pretty bad on the. What was the one that they stopped them on fourth down where they
They like
knocked them
shifted
way
over to
back?
Wildcat, and
Yeah,
the guy mishandled the snap, and yeah.
315 yards for Trinidad Chambliss, who, like I said, not the greatest day. I mean, his rating is actually lower than Mateer's,
I
24 of
mean,
44 for 315 and a touchdown. But this defense also, Jeremy, just has no chance of creating turnovers hardly anymore.
no,
I mean,
I don't know.
I
I
don't know
don't
how you're a good defense and turnovers just escape you.
because anytime a quarterback breaks contain because of all the pressure, a defensive back should be taught that I'm latching onto my man and I'm going where he goes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do that.
No.
If you ever notice when a quarterback rolls or the pocket moves or he gets outside of the tackles, there's always someone running wide open.
Yeah.
And you ask yourself, who the hell was supposed to be covering him?
But, that's the thing about Texas and watching that Mississippi State game is, every play they should just try to, get the rushers to press Arch in a box and then let him roll out. or let him,
Mhm.
move the pocket up, because that seems to be when he's the most accurate. But
Yeah.
anyways, OU,
Anyway,
tough one going to where they go to Knoxville next week.
go to Knoxville.
Yeah, so they'll be 6-2 going into that one. Um, let's see. Let me get over to OU schedule. Looking at the rest of their schedule, I mean, LSU is a pretty physical team. They're playing well against a top 5 ranked A&M team at home. Competing. Hey, 10-7 at the half. Michigan and Michigan State. Let's go Sparty. Of
But
course,
there's been no
I might have taken the Wolverines in that one.
there I did too. There has been no last year, if Oklahoma got a big win, you knew they were gonna back it up with a loss.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
It when they just throat punch Bama and never let them back up last year, we're like, "Okay, let's go to LSU. They got a shot. LSU's vulnerable."
yeah.
Started out great, they about killed, Nussmeier.
Well, Jeremy, I mean, where was our Mason Thomas today? Where was Taylor Wine?
That's a slippery little bitch to try to catch up to, and they've
He
got a
is.
better offensive line.
Yeah. Um, well, and honestly, looking at it, Ole Miss is one of the weaker 7-1 records in the country. I mean, that's a big win for them. Let's just say they needed that win today
It's
to
not
kind of
weak
flip.
now.
Huh?
It's not a week 7-1 now. They got a good win on the road.
Well, that's what I'm getting at is, I mean, they get into a shootout with basically Kentucky, Arkansas, and who else? Washington State, I think. 24,
Let's
not a shootout,
see.
24-21. It was a close one.
Wine had three tackles and a tackle for loss. R. Mason Thomas had 2 tackles, 1 TFL.
Yep. Ricky Rodriguez says it's okay. We'll get Lane Kiffin back in Florida next season. Yeah, he'll have a pretty easy time pulling in some NIL portal guys at Gainesville. I think a little easier than in Oxford, I would guess.
Yeah, maybe.
That's probably a booster body that's ready to
Start winning
put
again.
their money where their mouth is. But yeah, and we mentioned off the air, Jeremy, and we'll get to Dan Narva's comment here in a minute. Diana Rossini put out a tweet saying that Steve Sarkisian is potentially entertaining offers from the NFL, and the Titans could be big suitors for him.
Let's go.
Is that just a situation where he's maybe not wanting to deal with the next 2 years of Arch Manning, or
I think the Arch thing has soured him on Texas and
yeah,
probably on college football altogether just because he feels like it was forced on him. 9:49 left in the fourth quarter. Atlanta Hawks 82. Your Oklahoma City Thunder 102.
okay. So they pulled away pretty well after halftime, didn't they?
Yeah.
All right. Dan Narva, it was a complete shit show early for Sparty, but the defenses kept them in the game so far. Childs put the ball on the ground first possession, leading to a Michigan field goal. Underwood is not that much more spectacular in this game. So,
No.
Connor Carr says, is he taking his pet monkey with him? Oh, that would be the special teams coach
Is he taking him too?
who would have the former stripper wife, girlfriend,
Pole assassin?
pole assassin, and then the monkey. I forget what the monkey.
Gia. Gia
Gia,
the monkey.
Gia the monkey, not Coco.
No.
Coco's good monkey.
That chimp's all right.
Chip's all right. High five. So, anyways, the pole assassin. Hard to say if he would go. I guess he would probably follow Sarkisian to any NFL destination that he was looking for. Marty Wandry says Ole Miss schedule set up for them to go 11-1. And I said this after they beat us in Norman today, Jeremy. No reason to think that's not a playoff team.
No, none at all. I mean, they've got a good offense. Chambliss is a hell of a player. Offensive line is good enough to give him enough time to operate. Defense is serviceable.
But
I really like Kiffin. I mean,
yeah.
he's a hell of a play
Oh
caller.
yeah, I mean, I call him a nepo baby, but I mean, he
Hey,
can
he's a
call
good
an off.
nepo baby. He's done.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, he went
hell.
oppo of dad, so
Yeah,
so
he's failed up everywhere he's gone. Right.
yeah. So they've got South Carolina at home next week, then the Citadel. on the 8th, and then Florida and at the Egg Bowl's at Starkville. So I don't know. I mean,
They might get got in Stark Vegas, but
yeah, Florida could come in and maybe he throws the game so they look a little better. I don't know.
maybe.
Anyways, Michael Busso checking in with it.
Boos.
Good evening to you as well, sir. All right, so OU going forward, Jeremy, and like I said, there's a lot of frustration with the fact that we are in year 4 of the Brent Venables era, and I'm trying to think back during the Gary Gibbs era. It was he took over in 89, I think, or 90?
89.
89. So he lost 4 straight to Texas, and that was really kind of his doom. And then in 93, he beat Texas, but he couldn't beat Nebraska or Colorado. And then in 94, I think he lost to Texas. Yeah, 94 he lost to Texas and was one of those. No, it was Schnellenberger that lost to OSU. Gary might have had a tie in there against OSU somewhere. But I mean, Brent Venables comes into this program with a lot of love from his former days, a lot of things that look great on the surface as to what he does as a coach, but there's just no results there.
No, you're in essence, if you listen to his press conferences, ask him about the offense, and it's well the defense should have played better. You're the head coach, bro. You signed off on this.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, in essence, Oklahoma's on the hook $8 million a year for a D coordinator.
Yeah.
And it's just not good enough. It is just not good enough. Now, you could be one of those fans say, well, look at what Nebraska did. If you start firing guys, you could be wandering in the desert for 40 years.
Or you could
Well, we're
or you could hit
wandering
the
in the
right one.
desert now.
Yeah, you could hit the right one.
Yeah, you could hit the right one. Last time Oklahoma fired a coach, they brought in Bob Stoops.
Yeah.
That worked out.
Uh-huh.
I mean, damn. I don't think he's going to last. If he does not get fired this year, he will be fired next year under the new athletic director, unless there is market improvement.
Well, and you brought up the Nebraska comparison, and when you look at Nebraska, you hire Frank Solich, who was part of Tom Osborne's staff. You never want to be the guy that follows a legend, but hey, he took it upon himself to do it. They were respectable, they were competitive, in a changing Big 12, I guess you could say. Ran into a just all-time team in Miami in that national championship game. But the thing that I don't see, and even if Castiglione is not the AD in title, I would say whoever takes over for him, they're not going to make the mistake of hiring like an old NFL rehash like Bill Callahan,
No.
and then they're not going to hire a defensive coordinator from that's had mixed results, like Pelini, and then
Hey.
and Mike
Pelini did
Riley.
a good job in Nebraska.
Sure, but I
Most
mean,
people up there would kill to have Bo Pelini
they
right now,
would
and
they would
I'm
have
not so certain we wouldn't be either.
they'd kill to have Frank Solich too. But I'll just say this: I mean, I don't see OU making that many whiffs if that were the case.
I don't either. I
This
think there's
Brent Venables hire was so much thrown in the lap of after Muleshoe pulled his shenanigans. Is we got to get somebody,
yeah.
and and it was hurried. There was no plan. I can't imagine there was.
Dan Lanning wanted the job.
Yeah. And Dan Narba mentions an Oregon State coach. I think I did spit out Mike Riley.
Mike Riley, yeah. He
Just
didn't do well.
bad coaching selections until they got to Matt Rule, and then who knows what he's going to do with the Penn State job opening.
Exactly. You're gonna have a lot of movement this year. A
Oh,
lot.
this is one of the wackiest coaching carousels I've ever seen, Jeremy.
We may see people, leave in the dead of night to take a job in South Texas. We may
UTRVG, baby. That's
we may
Corey Hook says
see
that's a growing program.
we may see a guy who has success at a blue blood bolt for another blue blood.
Yeah. I mean, you said something about the effect that there's talk of Lincoln Riley potentially Looking into Baylor if they fired Dave Aranda and then Kalen DeBoer maybe going back to the West Coast. I don't know. I
It
mean,
could be a while. It could be wild times. This is all supposition right now, but it's fun to talk about.
oh yeah, that's
I'd
what
like to
I mean.
see. I'd like to see Muleshoe, hitting LAX at 2 a.m. to him and I'm sure that Alex Grinch will be involved somehow.
Yeah. Marty Wandry says, but we got our man, and I think I'm sensing sarcasm on that.
Well,
Sarcasm.
I mean, Bob was going to have his back and do everything he could for him.
Sure.
Even endorse him, but the results just aren't there. They're
But
not there.
Jeremy, I mean, the thing about it is as a head coach, it's not just about what you do. So much of it is who you hire.
Oh, no,
And
no kidding. You
it has
can't whip
been
on coordinators over and over and over.
no. And although Jeff Lebby had a 10-win season under his belt here, which I'm sure everybody would seethe for right now, that was a season that was lacking as well. I mean,
Well, Jeff Levy's a good offensive coordinator,
yeah,
and I don't think last year goes down the way it did if Levy is the offensive coordinator.
no,
I don't,
no,
because then you don't
probably
get
not.
that. You don't get those goons that were the offensive staff last year just wrecking two young quarterbacks who have yet to recover.
But like with Jackson Arnold, why he went to Auburn, which I guess maybe the pay bag was a little bigger than what Mississippi State could offer.
Maybe.
But Dan Narvis says the Huskers have really covered the spectrum of coaching hires, have they not? Yeah, I mean it's since Tom Osborne, it's been a cavalcade of
I mean, hell, yeah, Solich and Pelini, right? Those were two pretty daggone good coaches they had in there, but
yeah.
9 wins a season under Pelini just wasn't good enough.
Yep. Connor Carr says Razorbacks are in the same boat since they fired Nutt. I think Nutt would have ran his course. I just never.
I do too.
I mean, to me, he was always a guy who's going to come in and play better.
Let's just say the Razorbacks are in the same boat since a women's volleyball
Since
player
the
was
motorcycle accident.
almost died on the back of a
Yeah,
Harley Davidson.
yeah. I mean, because that's the thing, Petrino. If he sustains that job from that point on, they're nowhere near where they're at right now. I mean, I watched that game today, and man, I know Auburn played OU's offense pretty well, but they made is it Taylon Green?
Yeah.
Taylon Green, man, he threw some bad throws today. I mean, they kind of look like the '86 Bears, and then they bench Jackson Arnold, and the backup comes in, and he did pretty well, really.
That could have been the thing that saved Hugh Freeze's job, because I still think he's getting fired.
Yeah,
We benched the guy that they paid all that money for.
yeah. Dan Narvis says, well, our coach with phones 3 times. Phone sex. Oh, okay. Yeah. Was that Mel Tucker?
Yes.
Yeah, Mel Tucker with sexual harassment.
I just find it funny you trying to read that 3 like it's a 3.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't know 6'7", and I don't know.
I'm just a caveman.
I don't know. I'm just,
I don't understand
the
your
world of
letter
yours confuses
numbers
me.
instead of letters.
Your jargon makes me confused. Unfrozen caveman lawyer. Anyway, so like I said, Arkansas, just a rough day today there, and man, Auburn just really played pretty dang well against them. And how about Kurt Signetti and the Indiana Hoosiers, Jeremy, number 2 in the country, and UCLA had been on a heater, and they just spanked them 56-6.
Hey, Signetti's the best in the business right
He's
now.
the best coach in the country right now. I don't care what anybody says.
He's doing he is rivaling the Manhattan Miracle.
To take that program, yes, I totally agree.
In fact, I would say he has topped what Snyder did.
Here's the thing: he made a playoff. Snyder never did. Snyder should have. I think he got ripped off, in that championship game, whatever. But here's the thing: is before the Chad May era of K-State football, didn't they have some players back in the old days that were pretty salty?
Man, I don't think so.
I want to say that maybe I'm thinking of Kansas.
Kansas, yeah, they had some guys back in the day. Nolan Cromwell. Who's that guy? Gale Sayers. How
Uh,
far back are we going?
oh, anything, Barry Sanders or before.
Oh, Barry Sanders or before. They had some guys. They when Mason was there, they had some players.
Well, it's Kansas, yeah.
K
Let me
State,
see.
I can't think of anybody before Snyder got there, but I was
Lynn Dickey,
pretty.
that's who I was trying to think.
Lynn Dickey,
Lynn
yeah, the
Dickey,
old Packers quarterback.
yeah. So he was on
Oh,
some
I'm
teams.
sorry, Steve Grogan.
Steve Grogan. Let's see. Elmer Hackney. That was way, way back. Clarence Scott. Yeah. So Lynn Dickey was a big name. Can you name one Indiana player from before?
Antoine Randall L.
Okay, yeah. Excelled in the pros out of
Right there, huh?
position,
Yeah,
right?
he played quarterback at Indiana.
He did, and then he
Yeah.
played receiver for Pittsburgh.
Yep.
So, anyways, Connor Carr, there was a coach at K-State before Snyder. I thought he started the program. He revived the program.
Pretty much.
But no, Signetti is an amazing coach. Hey, real quick before we get too far in the weeds, Oklahoma State just really no chance today in Lubbock, 42-0. They poked the ball, 1-6 on the season. Texas Tech, they move up to 6-1, and they've got one going to Manhattan next week, Jeremy, as we were talking about K-State. And I would think the Wildcats will give Texas Tech. I mean, if Baron Morton doesn't come back, and I think Hammond got hurt today as well, Tech could have a dogfight on their hands.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Kansas State will pick their spots. If you got aspirations for postseason, Kansas State will snatch those sons of bitches right out of your
The
hands.
Big 12, they everybody's talking about the Big 12. I think what's his name, Brett,
Your
analyst.
mark,
No, the analyst on
McMurphy.
Stadium, McMurphy. I think he said something about the Big 12 being, so competitive up to down. It's competitive. They're just all spoilers.
Yeah,
You're not gonna have a clear favorite. But anyways, Texas Tech scores on the first play of the game with a well, I guess it wasn't the first play of the game, but they got a 64-yard kick return for a touchdown. So
well, Miami's taking care of Stanford.
they were hanging in there for a minute.
It is now 35-7.
Okay, so that they got rolling. Carson Beck just anyways, but Mitch Griffiths comes in for the Red Raiders, 9 of 13 for 172 and a touchdown. It's so bad, Jeremy, that the top performers on the quarterback passing wise for the Pokes has nobody. And that would be because Sam Jackson was 9 of 19 for 48 yards, and it was Noah Walters who came in and was 5 of 12 for 39 yards. So just bad stuff.
Yeah, no matter how bad we think we got it. Oh my God.
And I said this, I think on Twitter. Gundy should really appreciate them for going ahead and pulling the hook, because he would have a 42. I mean, it could have been worse, really. But that 42-0 blanking in Lubbock could have been his had they kept him on, to finish the season.
He got that, what was it, 69-3 drubbing by Oregon.
Yeah, that was bad enough, I guess. But
Yeah,
it's when you're getting just blasted by the conference foes, and
yeah, no,
especially Texas Tech, who formerly just could not hardly get one over on OSU.
Texas Tech's got a good ball club this year.
Yeah, they are real good. If they were in the SEC, I would favor them against probably all but about 3.
You're probably right.
Yeah,
They're loaded.
Let's see. Connor Carr mentioned Bill Snyder. Dan Narvis says, I miss Deuce Vaughn. Then Connor says Cons versus Nerds shouldn't be much of a game. Oh Lord, but
yeah, Napoleon Dynamite must be having a pretty good game.
That's right. So yeah, 35-7 Stanford over Miami at the fourth fairly late in the fourth quarter, but they'll ride that one out. Oregon leading Wisconsin 14-0 in the third. As we mentioned, halftime in East Lansing, Michigan State trails Michigan 10-7. Paul Bunyan's axe, if you remember me clarifying that. And at halftime, LSU has a 4-point lead on Texas A&M, 18-14. I told you.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Wyoming all over Colorado State. Louisville leads Boston College 21-17. Tennessee over Kentucky right before the half, 35-21. And Houston still at halftime. They lead Arizona State 10-0. Waiting on kickoff here pretty soon in Salt Lake as Utah hosts Colorado. And I mentioned, I think the Dampier kid was listed as questionable, but I don't see him on this injury report. But 5-2 Utah versus 3-4 Colorado. That's probably, I said probably one where Colorado just pulls one out and beats them on their home field.
I believe in Whittingham. They're gonna do it.
Okay, college football pick'em, Jeremy. We had I've had a rough 24 hours ever since Big Friday, or after midnight, whatever you want to call it, ended yesterday. But I'll say this: I equaled myself on poor picking with today's batch, and sometimes teams just screw you too, and you can't do anything about it. Michael Busso checking in says, I was thinking Vandy, Indiana for the championship game, but I don't know if they could survive the top dogs in the Big Ten or SEC. I hate to say this, Jeremy, but I'm all in on your doppelganger. Their defense and what they're able to do with their offense is just going to carry them to another title.
Yeah, they
No, you're much more handsome than Ryan.
Thank you. But they man, they're good. It sucks how good they are.
And that's the thing about it is, like, and I'm one that bought in all this number one defense in the nation talk, and
well, if you don't play complimentary football, I don't give a damn how good your defense is. They're going to get tired.
They are, but I mean, like we said, turnovers are something that you should be out there trying to dial up.
You would think they could grab one every once in a while, but if they're throwing to guys that are wide open and
punching the ball out, I mean, Jesus Christ, something. So looking at the pick'em, and let me get some glasses prepared to do so. Is try to do the Barry Trammell readers down low on the nose. Last night I took it in the pants on Cal at Blacksburg as they lost 42-34. I had them covering the 4.5, and then I also lost Boise State covering the 21.5 at Nevada. 24-3 was the final on that. Virginia, North Carolina, that one got me too. That was a 1-point win by the Cavaliers. They were favored by 10 and a hook. SMU Mustangs go down.
Time to stop believing.
I am done with Rhett Lashley. I'm done with the Mustangs. They're dead to me. 13-12, they lose at Wake Forest. They were 3.5-point favorites. K-State pulled one out for me with the 42-17 drubbing of the Jayhawks. Man, Kansas, when they dropped that Mizzou game early in the season, they kind of crumbled.
Yeah, and then they'll finish strong. They'll probably rip off 3 or 4 straight wins to finish the season.
Let's see who they have next. They've got OSU. They host OSU. Then they go to Tucson and then to Ames and then Utah. I don't see them finishing too well in that gauntlet.
No.
And speaking of, let me take a look real quick. I'm interested to see. There's a former Oklahoma City player that I'm going to see if he has some stats as far as the Jayhawks go. Jaden Nickens. Let me see if he's anywhere on there.
OKC's up 20 with 1:03 left.
Well, basketball season is something that folks can look forward to.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. Now I'm not seeing that. Anyways, so I had K-State. I got that one. Then OU let me down because I took them in the 5.5. Bowling Green let me down. They couldn't cover, and they lost to Kent State 24-21. They were 7.5-point favorites. And then South Florida, we talked about this yesterday on the Weekend Big Show. I just felt like Memphis was probably hemorrhaging after the loss to UAB. South Florida's looked like the cream of the crop as far as group of 5 schools, and they just puked down their legs at Memphis 34-31. New Mexico got me a point with a win over Utah State 33-14. They were 3-point favorites. Pitt took care of North Carolina State. I got that one 6.5 points. They were favored 53-34 was the win. Iowa State, and I blame you in some form and fashion.
Why?
You don't talk enough sense to me at times.
Well, I mean, I'll let you talk me into picking Iowa State.
I'm just gonna say you don't pull me aside and say, Chuck, it's Matt Campbell. It's BYU. They're
I
rolling.
know.
It doesn't matter that Vegas thinks Iowa State should be favored. Go with the Cougars.
I've been saying that all year with the Washington Huskies, and they finally got one for me.
And you stuck with them, and they won big 42-25. They were 4.5-point favorites. I took the Fighting Brett Bielema's and got let down once again. So just a big one. And then South Carolina couldn't cover the 12.5, or I'm sorry, Alabama couldn't cover the 12.5 at South Carolina. So the Gamecocks get the cover on that one, even though they lost 29-22. I did get the Vanderbilt Commodores in the 2.5 over Mizzou, and 17-10 was the final on that one. Fresno State, they lose to San Diego State 23-0. That tells me the rest of the season, Jeremy, steer clear of the Bulldogs. What we got?
They just okay, so that was a clear fumble by Underwood. I mean, clear. Hands coming back, ball comes out. Hands not going forward. Michigan State recovers it, and they called that a forward pass.
Was his body turning towards the sideline, pushing the ball?
Well, I mean, the ball came out as his hand went back.
Not going to review it.
They did review it, and it was overturned.
Boy, Texas got 2 touchdowns given to him. Well, got 2 touchdowns handed to him tonight on review.
Dan is probably walking around his house doing his Mark Mangino impersonation.
I would.
Good God.
So Navy can't cover against Florida Atlantic. The spread was 15.5. They win 42-32. Cincinnati, man, I felt like they are good enough at home to handle Baylor 41-20. What is the record on the Bears this season? I mean, they had the win against SMU. I don't know if they've won a whole lot more.
Well, let me look that up because I know that if I just touch the hyperlink, they are 4-3.
Wow. That's
or 4-4 now.
Aranda came into that job off of that LSU championship, and really he has not delivered much for the Bears.
No.
Mississippi State
4-3.
pushes against Texas because that went into overtime and they couldn't get a score. I mean, they just marched backwards so far in their possession in overtime. It was so bad. Gave up a 17-point lead twice, basically, in the fourth quarter.
How do you have 2 false starts in overtime at home?
Those stupid cowbells. And you know what I thought of today? They kept saying the last time that Mississippi State played Texas, I think was or before. Let's see. Last time they played them in Starkville was 1991, I think. You know who was coaching Mississippi State back then?
Jackie Sherrill.
Jackie Sherrill. and he cut the nuts off of a cow that weekend too. And then got beat.
Final 117-100 Thunder.
All right. Well, 3-0 for the Thunder.
3-0.
No overtime either.
Let's see. Yeah, no double OT. So we just had regulation tonight. SGA 30 points on 12-17 from the floor. Chet Holmgren 31 points, 12 rebounds, 8 of 12 field goals.
Well, he's going to be needed, I think, going forward.
6 of 8 from 3.
Because let's finish up Pick'em, and then I kind of want to talk real quick some NBA since you brought all that up. But TCU, Jeremy, they were leading 20-7 at the break, and then only scored 3 points in the second half. They did hold West Virginia to 10, so they win 23-17. The spread was 15.5. I thought TCU would go up there and handle a bit of a falling Mountaineer squad. I lose that one.
Same.
And the rest are still in flux. I've got Colorado, Arizona State. I took them to cover against Houston in Tempe. They're trailing 10-0 at the half. Tennessee will maybe a pretty good chance I get that one on the 9.5-point favor over Kentucky, and then Colorado State. I, for some reason, thought they could cover against the Cowboys of Wyoming, and LSU has me at a chance to do something. So that is the college football pick'em. And as I mentioned yesterday on the show, Connor Carr leading, but you're only 1 point behind him. So maybe you can make up some ground.
Probably not after today.
Yeah, maybe he picked the same bad picks we did. Anyway,
he's got a service.
He does. He's totally got
a fat jack up.
He is. And who was the guy that used to be on the Sports Animal on Friday evening? Greg
Swain?
No. Oh gosh, what was that guy? Southern guy. And it was back before you could really dial up a lot on the internet. You'd be on with Eschbach every Friday evening.
Okay.
Anyways, you were talking about Chet and his stats tonight. I'll just say this, Jeremy, is I think after watching Wemby for San Antonio, these unicorn dudes, they've got to lay off the 3-point line. And I would say, what Chet shoot from the 3 tonight?
6 of 8.
Well, talk about disproving a point.
8 of 12 from the floor, 6 of 8 from 3, 31 points.
Fire away, Chet.
Yeah. Hey, if they're dropping, keep throwing them up there.
Oh, Lord. If you feel it.
Hartenstein had a double-double. Yeah. Lou Dort had a Lou Dort stat line. 5
Trae
points,
Young
1
played
assist.
for Atlanta.
Yes, he did. Trae Young had 15 points on 5 of 12 shooting.
2 for 3 from 3.
And Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 17 to lead scoring for Atlanta.
Jared Jones says, I don't think that coach cut the balls off a cow. It was a bull, I guess, and it was then a steer. I'm not an ag guy, but I kind of do.
Put your FFA hat on.
I know Jackie Sherrill made some mountain oysters that weekend and then ended up losing to Texas. So
who was it Jackie Sherrill that Steely saw naked underneath the outside the dressing room? He's told the story a million times on the air.
That's one of Steely's that I don't.
Did he coach at Pitt?
Yes, he did.
Okay, yeah, then it was Jackie Sherrill.
Wasn't he coaching there before Pat Jones went to OSU and Pat was on his staff?
I think so, and he coached them the year that they brought Tony Dorsett in Norman. Scotty Hill about killed him. And Scotty Hill.
Well, thank God Steely wasn't. Thank God Jackie Sherrill wasn't like a Jerry Sandusky type exposing himself.
That's probably what's wrong with Steely. He saw Jackie Sherrill naked when he was a child. He's scarred for life.
But thank you, Jared Jones, for cluing me in on the terminology miscue there. Steer is a cut bull, and then a cow is the other. So, yeah. But Jackie Sherrill and
all these guys out
Marty Wandry takes it down into the gutter.
You got those guys out in Western Oklahoma getting ready to, correct you on your veterinary medicine.
They are ag supporters out here in Western Oklahoma. And you will not get terminology wrong, you city boy. Greenhorn. Marty Wandry, thank you for your comment. Jared Jones. Jared is my broadcast partner on Weatherford Eagle Sports, my color commentator there. So we appreciate him checking in. And SWOSU, Southwestern Oklahoma State University, got a win today over East Central on homecoming, and they're 4-4 on the season. So they have topped their win total, any win total they've had for the last 5 years. I think 2 years ago they won 4 games, so they've still got some to come. So
who do your Longhorns have next week?
Aren't they going to Athens?
They got to go to Vandy.
Or does Vandy come to DKR?
No, that's going to be a DKR.
Yeah.
And then they go to Athens.
Okay.
Well, if Arch has a concussion, he may not be available next week.
But you know what?
The best thing that happened to him.
I don't think they're losing anything with the backup. Not at all.
Every once in a while, Sark's just going to walk behind Arch and pop him in the back of the head, make sure that concussion stays around a little bit longer.
Exactly. Stay down, boy. We mentioned something on the text thread about the Nike Grateful Dead theme at Oregon, and I think I threw out that it must be a Phil Knight thing. He must have been a huge Deadhead, and I think Kyle Albert came on, or somebody came on and said that was probably the case. Hey, how about
A&M took the lead.
okay? How about this offensive output, Jeremy? Iowa 41-3 over Minnesota.
Man,
That's an offensive
when's
coordinator
the,
for you, pal.
when's the last time Iowa eclipsed the 40-point mark?
Washington State defeats Toledo 28-7, and apparently Toledo is one of those teams I think was considered a pretty competitive group of 5 squad.
Washington State's a group of 5 squad.
Well, they are, but you would think after Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer leave that they would just shut down the program, and apparently they carried on.
Nah, they still play football up there.
I guess so. What do we got next week anyways? Looking at it, where do let's see. So we've got weekday CUSA as UTEP and Kennesaw State on Tuesday, and then when's the Maction get going?
Maction has already started.
Well, I know they play Thursday. Marshall's not in the. Did Marshall go to Sunbelt?
Ah, man, I don't know.
Okay. All I see for early next week is a CUSA and Sunbelt. So, anyways, and then an AAC game on Thursday. But looking at it, like we mentioned, Oklahoma State travels to Lawrence, Texas Tech goes to Manhattan, and Oklahoma goes to Knoxville. Penn State and Ohio State at the Horseshoe. That had a lot more billing about 4 weeks ago than it will have now. Number 10 Vanderbilt does go to 22 Texas. Texas is going to win that one and then claim that they're bound for the playoffs.
Yep, they're back.
That's just what's going to happen.
I know they're going to win it with their backup quarterback, and he's going to go like 23 of 32 for 317 yards and throw 3 touchdown passes. Take care of the football.
Pavia will have turnovers. I mean, it's what he did in Tuscaloosa, so I plan on him to do it in Austin. Did you see the score graphic of Charlotte versus North Texas?
I saw that kid from North Texas threw it for 600 yards.
He did, and he was amazing. Some guy screenshotted the score bot graphic of Charlotte versus the University of North Texas. So think about the logos.
I get it. I have the mind of a 12-year-old boy too.
He said he called it the ex-wife bowl.
Can we start a petition on change.org to name it that?
Oh gosh. Dan Narva says Iowa's up 31 early in the second quarter, so they got out quick on
28-18 A&M. They just scored again somehow.
Dang. 3-1 Dodgers in the bottom of the 7th in Toronto. That series, Toronto really had a boost last night. All right, so looking at the rest of the schedule real quick, just trying to think of anything that we would probably focus in on. World's biggest cocktail party, Jeremy. Is it even that anymore?
No, they don't call it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. They don't call it that anymore because,
they're in Jacksonville.
There's no such thing as fun anymore.
It's neutral site. I mean,
what are they?
Not like they're calling it a shootout.
It's just the Florida-Georgia game.
Okay. Florida-Georgia line. So that one's there. And then also not seeing anything else. Oh, Mississippi State and Arkansas. Somebody's going to get off the schneid there. I would that's in Fayetteville, but I would bet after today that Levy goes in there and pulls out a win.
He's had a couple really, really close, tough games in a row.
Yeah.
That's taxing on a football team when you're not winning them. That may be the time when the wheels just fall off.
I don't see Texas, and Vanderbilt's good.
Vanderbilt
is good. I don't see Texas, and Texas could win that one. I don't see them going into Athens.
No.
They could, in essence, finish out and because they still have Arkansas and who else? Texas. Oh, A&M. A&M goes to the DKR. So I mean, it's just if they make the playoff and they had to go to overtime with Kentucky and Mississippi State in consecutive weeks, my God,
I know.
nobody wants to excel in this sport anymore.
Well, it's the parody, the NIL, dollar signs, BCS.
Yeah.
It's just, the game is just a mess right now.
USC travels to Lincoln next week. That could be the Lincoln Riley Bowl to see if he bows out at USC.
The Lincoln Bowl.
The Lincoln Bowl.
They have McConaughey on the play-by-play.
Miami of Florida travels to Gerald Ford Stadium in Dallas to take on the Ponies.
You got to stop believing in SMU, man. I think it's over.
Yeah. I said tonight I am done. Texas should not have beaten OU. Jared Jones says, yeah, we said that a lot too. Why their defense just steps up, and after because there was one play, I think it was the last touchdown that Mississippi State scored, Jeremy. And I mean, it kind of resembled that play with CD Lamb where it's just like the secondary just thought, well, we don't really want to tackle this guy.
Yeah, that guy looks strong. I don't
Yeah,
want to give that.
I'm not. It's kind of like the Corbin Burnson and
five guys making a business decision all at once.
So Marty Wandry says A&M, Michael Busso, Missouri State plays FIU Wednesday night. CUSA. That's his alum. That's his alma mater, isn't it? Yeah. So Missouri State got a win over New Mexico State last week. So a big night, big week for them. James Madison travels to San Marcos to take on Texas State. GJ Kinney is his hot seat. Is his fire cooled a little bit on his name being thrown around?
We'll see.
3-4.
3-4.
Mm-hmm.
It's the guy's a good coach, man. It's tough to sustain success at a program like Texas State or North Texas. You got to. We said this about Seth. He should have taken Tech when it was offered and got the hell out of Denton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because, his star dropped when they realized that he's not an offensive genius. And then we saw firsthand that he's not an offensive genius last year. And now what is he? Quality control assistant at Tennessee.
Yeah, he's up in the offensive press box.
Looking confused and befuddled as he did every game last year.
I'll tune in Tuesday night for the UTEP Kennesaw State game.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
watch UTEP.
All right. Well, as we start to make our way out of here, Jeremy, last thing on the Oklahoma situation. I mean, OSU's already pulled the plug. I don't see OU doing anything in season, and as bad as it is, and I think it's a bad optic too. You give BV another season, and what are you really doing? I mean,
I know,
but I do realize you're running up against some programs right now that have historically not just been open.
I know.
I mean, I don't know that any contestants for the Penn State gig are necessarily anybody that OU would target, but you don't know.
Right.
And who would they go looking for?
It would have to be a head coach, obviously, because you can't do a coordinator again. You need to get somebody in that knows what they're doing as a head coach. Bob Stoops was an outlier. He was a coordinator, but he ran his own shop at Florida. He did his own
K-State.
He did his own coaches show.
Mm-hmm.
He was polished enough to where I don't have to run the defense. I got guys I could trust to do that. BV's never gotten out of that mode where he's got to have his fingers in it, even when he had coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, you need a guy that's already knows how to be the CEO, and you would prefer them to be young.
Yeah. Jared Jones says NIL is going to put a stop to these long-term huge contracts for coaches. There's nothing that should go over 3 years. I'm sorry.
No. And buyout?
Not anymore.
You better win.
Yeah.
That's your buyout.
Your buyout is
if you win, we'll keep paying you.
Yeah. Buyout is getting another 3-year extension.
It's like Norvell down at Florida State. He would have already been fired if his buyout wasn't in damn near
Yep.
nine
Maybe
figures.
maybe we see more of the Bill Belichick style of contracts, you know? Because here's
Yeah.
the thing, and they say this a lot in the NFL and the NBA, and I don't subscribe to it myself. I think you do have to have a competent, assertive coach.
Mhm.
Those are star-driven leagues. We get that, particularly the NBA. But you have to have somebody that, takes a superstar and sets them down and says, "You can't keep doing that."
Mhm.
And we're starting to see that shift in college where these athletes are paid so much and the coach, they're getting big contracts too, but they're also having to see, half of their starting 22 uh, getting some comparable pay, maybe. I don't
Oh, I
know,
know.
you know. And so I just I hope college football and this goes for college basketball too. And I think college basketball is adapting, but they're also dealing with a lot fewer players.
And college basketball's always been weird anyways with
Yeah,
one and dones and your
yeah,
roster's constantly turning over.
sure.
It's nothing new for those guys.
But you still have guys that have enough credit in their bank account to go in and say, "We're gonna play it my style."
You got guys playing G League ball that are trying to petition the NCAA to get back into college.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, and I read some of that of some things, but what I was gonna get to is, I mean, I don't wanna see college football get to the because what makes college football great is some of these coaching figures and
Mhm.
their personalities and the characters of them. Same way in college basketball, you've got Izzo in Michigan State, you've got, you had Boeheim at Syracuse for years, that is part of the pageantry, it's part of the lure of the sport. I don't wanna see college football end up being some guys who, like you said, just get pulled out of the ranks of coordinator to run a program, for 3 years and see if the boost because then Texas would just be changing coaches every 3 years,
Oh, I know.
you know? So,
Ugh.
anyways, but, it'll be interesting, and next week's a big week for, Venables and the Sooners, Jared Jones says 15 million to Gundy. Where do I get my check and what do I do?
What door do I leave from?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
The Ed Orgeron.
yeah, exactly. And Jimbo Fisher sitting on the sidelines at ACC network games, him hawing around. So um I don't know. Lou Henson, that's another one, New Mexico State. And
Dean
Lou was
Smith.
huh?
Dean Smith.
Dean Smith. Lou Henson from OK, Oklahoma, up by not far from where I grew up. And also he coached at New Mexico State and Illinois, or as they say up in Wisconsin, Illinois. But yeah, Jared makes a good point. I mean, you've got so many of these coaches just sitting out there getting paid tons of money to not coach, and but think about this though. Look at Texas A&M, Jeremy, and you think the Puff Fund doesn't make a difference?
Oh, I know. I
You
mean,
know,
they paid 90 million to Jimbo just to go away.
look at what they've got going with Elko right now
Oh, I
and their
know.
NIL. I mean, it's and hey, Joey McGuire might be the beyond Cody Campbell might be the second savior at Tech, but you got to get out there and you talk about a program that snake bit with quarterback health. My gosh, Bowman was always hurt. Tyler Shook was always hurt, and
Uh-huh.
then now Baron Morton. I mean,
Their last quarterback that actually, played full seasons was Mahomes.
Holmes. Yeah, you're exactly right.
And they
Or,
couldn't figure out what to do with him.
who was the kid that played there and then went to Houston? He was a backup after Shook got hurt. It's
oh my gosh.
Tyler, yeah. Anyway,
Jet Duffy?
he was one. Yeah, yeah. It might have been him. All right. So as I mentioned, the one win I get out of the day today, Jeremy, you got your Thunder win, and I don't know if the Spurs played today or not. I didn't check the NBA, but heck of a game as we mentioned the other night or yesterday. Spurs might play tomorrow. Yep, they are hosting Brooklyn tomorrow at 1. And let me see if I get that game on any sort of channel I have. No, Yes Network or Fox Southwest. So, all right. So, Jared Jones should have kept Baker. we got a live poke on here talking mighty smack here. So, no, I mean, Mahomes was, Tex had a bad run of quarterback health. All right, so let's start getting out of here, Jeremy, and man, I shouldn't have my color commentator chiming in when I've got a Jeremy and a Jared that I too similar for this feeble mind, but we do appreciate Jared Jones, Dan Narva, Michael Busso, Marty Wandry, Connor Carr, Kyle Albert, Ricky Rodriguez, Dan Narva. Did I say Dan already?
You did.
Corey Campbell.
You say Dan again.
Checking in, as well as Rand Lindsay and Kyle Albert as well. And so thank you, everybody, for chiming in. This has been the College Football Recap Show with myself, Chuck Ramsey, and Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airwaves. And don't forget, we want to thank our sponsor, CCW Safe. If you need legal self-defense coverage to cover yourself as you defend yourself, and if you are a concealed carry or open carry, whatever the case might be, check into CCW Safe. It's legal self-defense coverage with plans starting as low as $19 a month. Use the link in the scroll. What do you got there?
Look at
I'm having trouble seeing that, bro.
God forbid a white boy get a little motion.
But anyways, use the link on the scroll, and it's also in the description of this broadcast on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Jeremy, have a great week, buddy, and sorry it's such a rough day down in Norman for you, but like I said, you got to check out, see Marty Wandry, and then also Connor swung by.
Yeah, it was a good day on that respect. I'll get over it.
Tell Lenny thanks for hooking everybody up with some parking or whatever.
Oh yeah,
or you and Lenny, I guess. Anyways, Dan Narva, last one, Ferris State over Grand Valley and D2 rivalry of my win for the day. They got some big football going up there. Jared Jones, last comment. Roger that. Jones out, and Dan Narva. Till next week. Thanks, guys. All right. Thank you, Jeremy. Have a great week. Appreciate you, bud.
All right. See ya.
This has been the College Football Recap here, powered by Law Dog Sports on a Saturday night. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive, and we'll talk to you real soon.